Call it the blackface mask.
What the fuck did you just say? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I am your host.
If you can't hear us, we could still make Jan fuck it up himself.
Yeah.
Can you mute everyone, Jan?
No, I haven't muted anybody.
No. You are the Meerkat Monarch.
Yes, sometimes known as Lillevik. With me, as always, is my co-host, Artivous Ira, and these four fucks that you can see on this. Plippy, Deefry, Dr. Evil, our overlord, and, of course, our unicorn in residence, Mr. Roy.
Don't give these crackers billing.
Yeah.
Just you up.
This stream is already terrible. Yes, we aim to please, Way.
I'm brown. I'm the only thing that matters.
I'm British. I take no responsibility for the reparations thing. Screw you.
Yeah. Anyways,
God damn it.
Anyways, we thought we would start the show with a rundown of
racism or whatever.
Oh Jesus Christ! You're the loudest guy in here. There's no institutionalized racism. You're the one who keeps interrupting everybody. Fuck off!
I know. I'm being ironic, Jan. That's the joke.
Anyways, we thought we would do a rundown of the Comey testimony because we're not getting into that fucking shit without an explanation, and that's why we have our unicorn, our political expert.
Everyone knows unicorns are political.
Yes.
Yes.
It's about politics.
Yeah. They're very unidirectional. So yeah.
We like getting to the point.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, at length.
Oh.
And the.
Okay, everybody get down for nap time. This is gonna kill me because I hate fucking testimonies.
Okay, yeah, testimony itself is kind of boring unless you're watching. Then it's kind of like if you're really into chess and poker and watching people try to play both blindfolded at the same time. That's about what testimony is like, because it's the surprises that pop up every now and again that you're really looking for, the little tidbits. Both sides have been claiming that the other side lost and have been essentially trying to do the point scoring thing. I don't care about any of that. I care about what's politically and legally actionable, what actually results from this. First and foremost, Comey tried to argue that the Russians are still a big threat and used lots of flowery language without saying anything specific about it.
Yeah.
And also tried to continue the narrative that Trump directed him, and this is what he claims, Trump directed him as he saw it to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn after Flynn had already been fired. The problem with that is when actually pressed on, well, what did Trump actually say to you? Well, he said, I hope you drop this, which is kind of the best explanation. The best explanation of this is the old Beckett conspiracy, if you remember, from Henry VIII, when Henry VIII said, who will rid me of this priest? And the priest was subsequently murdered by a lower functionary. But the thing was, you could not pin it on Henry VIII because he did not order it. Saying, hey, you know what, I really hate this guy, is not saying, I want you to do X. I want you to do Y or Z. It's expressing an opinion.
Yeah, it's like the old supervillain thing. I want you to handle the Anderson situation.
But here's the thing, though. That would be an actual directive.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It would be.
I want you to do this. I intend for you to do this.
It's more like it sure would be nice if someone handled the Anderson situation.
Oh, yeah.
The bottom line here is that even that much, even the I hope, comes from Comey's own memo that he wrote down as his own notes. So it's literally I said versus, Comey said versus what he says Trump said.
Yeah, nothing concrete.
And yeah, it's even if you take him at 100% face value, it's not impeachable because it's not an actual directive, even though Comey says I interpret it as one. If that is the standard, then it doesn't matter what the president says. Somebody can come out later and say, you know what, we had a private meeting, and even though he denies it, I said this and he said that, and let's just impeach him on that basis.
We interpreted it as Russia.
Yeah. Just he said, you know what, I would like a peanut butter sandwich, and I interpreted that as meaning nuke Russia. So I went ahead and started pressing buttons.
Black people make peanut butter. He's a racist.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't impeach somebody on that. So the important thing was the impeachment process essentially just got shanked by Comey, who the New York Times was positive was going to come out and actually say the opposite, that he had Trump under investigation and that Trump was impeding his investigation. That was the other major thing. Comey came out and said, no, I confirmed that on 3 separate occasions. I told him he is not under investigation. But I kept this under my hat just in case I had to come back and correct myself later. Yeah. There's a problem with that. If you don't have an investigation, there's nothing to correct. If you come out and have a new investigation later, it's like, hey, we uncovered evidence. Now he's under investigation. That's not a correction. That's a change from one status to another. Yeah. So as Marco Rubio pointed out during the hearings, this is about the only thing that you people didn't leak was something that would have cleared Trump.
What do you mean
in the eyes of the public?
What do you mean, you people?
Specifically, the FBI and intelligence services.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just The
other, you were the one who was saying, "Don't derail us," right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just want to get through all of this. Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You're doing it. You're still doing it.
Yeah.
Still doing it, Jan.
There's one more important thing to take away from this. Aside from the fact that Trump didn't do nothing, which sad to say, that's essentially what it is. Comey also dropped that previously Attorney General Loretta Lynch had ordered him to change how he represented to the public the criminal investigation of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. And
to change the term from investigation to matter to make it seem like it was not a criminal investigation. That is the head of the Department of Justice ordering the head of the FBI to make a partisan political campaign look better to the public. At minimum, that is use of federal authorities and federal resources to benefit a political campaign, which is illegal. I am thinking that what we are going to see here is Comey and or Lynch brought up on charges, whereas the whole thing with Trump is going to fizzle out. That's my take on this, as far as what appears to be actionable at this time.
Yeah, and
that's it.
Yeah, and just another comment on the Comey
There's lots
thing.
of other little things we could get into, but there's no point really.
Yeah, but another thing about Comey that I discovered while I was sort of reading and trying not to fall asleep, the transcripts. Didn't he investigate Hillary for the Whitewater thing as well, or was that just something that I got off?
I don't remember if he was actually involved in that, but again, since that's not actionable, I ignored that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not concerned with their supposed ties going way back, because even if that were to come up into an impeachment process or a criminal hearing process, it would pretty much be moot unless you could show that he was doing something other than his job at the time.
Yeah. So we got a nice run through of the situation, and we just need to let this fucking thing carry on before we comment it, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things develop on the legal front from here, but what we're not going to see out of this is an impeachment.
I'd like to add one thing that wasn't brought up, is the fact that he admitted that he openly was leaking things to the press.
Oh yeah, the bit where he's claiming that my private records.
Yeah,
He actually said that this memo that he wrote when he was still an FBI director became his private property as a private citizen once he was fired. So he leaked it to the press through his friend, and I'm kind of like, none of that is legit.
That sounds dodgy. I don't know anything about the law on this, and that sounds dodgy.
Yeah.
Roger wasn't on the job.
It's perfectly fair to speculate that he's leaked a lot of things to the press, which super illegal.
He might be the guy who was driving the Russia connection thing. But again, this gets into speculation. What we actually know is that he did leak stuff as a private citizen, which were actually federal records, and they don't have to be classified to be covered. Unclassified, non-classified federal documents, even when you were working for the government, you don't have the right to just say, you know what, I'm going to leak that to whatever news agency.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I think we can move on to entertainment, because politics will turn up later in this show as well.
I find it entertaining.
Oh yes, I need to cleanse myself. So let's talk about Kathy Griffin and Bill Maher. Oh shit, this is gonna get worse.
Nothing else interesting happened today, obviously, but carry on.
No,
Bill
because
Maher is a house nigger, so what?
yeah.
Oh God. Okay. You know
All
what?
right,
You
I'll
know
take
what?
one.
I'm. Are we going Bill Maher or her first?
Let's go
I like
Kathy Griffin
Kathy.
first. Yeah, let's
Okay.
do Kathy. No,
Okay.
Jesus, let's do Kathy Griffin first. That's
That was your words, not mine, buddy.
I
All
like
right, the
it.
whole Kathy Griffin thing.
yeah.
I've known this train. I've known about this train wreck of a woman for a very long time, and her whole shtick is that she's not really famous and she's looked down on by other celebrities. Kind of this inferiority complex that she's a D-list celebrity. Kind of funny on some funny shows, blah blah, sitcoms. Nothing too important. Then she has her reality show, called
She has a
Life on the
reality show?
D-List. Yeah, where the entire show was about basically her trying to get more famous, even though she's on the D-List and most people find her annoying. See, she's always done really dumb shit to try and get attention. And this was just the first time that she actually got that attention on the scale she wanted.
Yeah.
I know the irony is palatable.
Yeah, but
Did she not actually wind up talking to the SS about that?
the SS.
The Secret Service.
Oh, this.
Well, you can't.
We
you
would like
can't-
to talk to you about this video you've put on the internet.
Well,
Mr.
They aren't
Dracula.
the EU. But anyway, like this, okay. The whole drama surrounds about this. She basically did this shit for a publicity stunt because it's not a joke.
that
she's
was
like, I'm a
revealed in the
comedian
video.
and
Yeah, the video
yeah,
as
he's
well.
like, I'm a comedian and I push the boundaries, and I'm like, what's the joke? Like, what's supposed to be funny? Like,
This is what I thought was the main sort of crux between Griffin and Maher, in that Mars was so much more of a joke.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll
it
get
was
to
a
the
It was
bad one,
self-deprecating
but-
humor.
Yeah, and the how I would classify this sort of thing is almost the Jane Fonda situation during the Vietnam War to a certain degree. But it was more directed because it's stupid. It's idiotic. What?
Well, here's what she actually said, okay? She said she's mocking the mocker in chief.
Yeah.
And that he had blood pouring out of his everywhere. Now, that's a reference to a off-color comment that Trump made during his run for office. But the thing is, if she had said that while holding up the head...
Yeah, in the video, that would have made
in the
sense.
video, all the video is her silently holding up the head with a very stern
It's
look.
like she's a member of fucking
Looked like
ISIS.
she just joined fucking ISIS in a red dress. Yeah. If she had actually, said something to the effect of, "Look at the blood coming out of his everywhere," get it, or something like that, there would have been a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't have been received much
But-
better.
But
it's something.
Yeah, sorry.
The big,
No, but you
the
could have
big-
at least said, "Okay, this is really dark humor, but at least
Yeah.
there's
Artivous.
a
Yeah.
it's a
Artivous.
punchline."
Artivous.
the thing about it is, this would have went under the radar, and she would have gotten the semi little blip that she was probably trying to get, that she normally does with these publicity stunt things. The problem is liberals were shouting her down for this.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea Clinton was berating her for it, of all people, and it was a bipartisan no. You fucked up on this one. Like this looks really really bad.
And it's
And if that didn't happen, the apology wouldn't have happened.
well, speaking as
But
an arm.
because
Sorry, speaking as the armchair psychologist here. We this the act of standing still with a severed head, is not this guy is dead, because then you would jubilantly lift it up and show it to people around in the town square. The fact that you show it directly in front of the camera is a threat. It's you're next. Behave yourself or you're next. That's the actual implicit body language of that video, and that was my major problem with it. It wasn't necessarily that it was a bad joke or whatever. It's just
here's
a
the
threat.
thing, Jam.
Yeah.
She's not smart enough to make that connection.
No,
She's
no.
really not smart. So anything about that is accidental. She was trying to be edgy. She was trying to be, look, I'm hip, I'm cool. The young people hate Trump. Look at me.
That's
Like,
the thing. Trump,
And
the people behind the president at the moment have heard like jokes at his expense and at supporters' expense till the cows come home, and they can brush it off. Essentially, it just wasn't a joke, and that's why it was too far.
Yeah.
My favourite part of all this was the aftermath, when she did that press conference.
I'm a victim.
And she claimed to be the victim because she said that
after apologizing.
The Trumps, she said, "I'm sorry that people found it didn't found it offensive." And to say, you're not upset that you did it. You're upset that people found it offensive.
Yeah.
And not
Right,
apology,
okay,
apology.
that's fine. And then they went on with the whole the Trumps bullied me with my tweets. I've been white men who bullied me my entire life. Ew. And then someone brings up this thing that she said about Baron Trump, and this is the crux what I'm about to say here. As someone said to her, it's like, you said you're going on Trump, you said, and then the woman who was looking after her, taking care of her on the podium, said, "When did she say that? We need some text to that." And then Griffin goes, "Oh yeah, I said that." And I thought, let's switch this shit. Let's turn it around. Imagine if a comedian said, when Obama got him, "I'm not going to go after him. I'm going to go after his kids. I'm going to make fun of his kids and his wife. I'm going to go after all of them. I'm getting ahead of the game on everyone." I'm just thinking, you would have... And I've said this before. The way they talk about Melania Trump and Ivanka and Barron and all the other Trumps, he multiplies a lot. All the rest of them, it's like, if they had said this about the same people who are saying this shit about his family, if they said that about Michelle Obama or his kid, it would have been the end of the world.
And as a matter of
big
fact,
arms thing.
Let's go ahead and remove this even from the race issue and just say that they had applied the same rules. Yeah, because they like to say that the difference is Obama and his family were black. Let's remove that for a moment and pretend that Republicans or conservative comedians had done the same thing to the Clintons when they were in the White House.
That's why Chelsea
they went after young Chelsea.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that's why I think she reacted. I actually think Chelsea Clinton may have some empathy. If she hopefully
a terrible person. Okay?
No. Hopefully she's adopted. Hopefully she's adopted. And
Jan, if you look at her face and realize that's not the case, Jan.
I know. But it's still
Bill Clinton's recognizing Clinton's horse.
It's just like that. But no, if you had somebody like Stephen Miller back in the day, holding up the severed head of Bill Clinton, just staring dead faced into the camera, he would have had the Secret Service at his house.
He'd be in jail.
Yeah. And he was like, guys, I went over the top. I'm so sorry about this. Really,
I don't. I don't want to jump to that conclusion because it's a very sort of
it's very very clear that that's what happened, because even with nobody on the right, the people on the right said some dumb shit while Obama was in office, yes,
yeah,
but they never went ISIS video.
No,
Like,
but
that's-
they
And
did
let's-
burn effigies and did hang him from a couple of trees.
And,
So I
and
wouldn't.
that was
Yeah,
and
a
that
couple
was
of
done and that
yahoos
was
and
done to George
dumbasses.
Bush by
Yes.
liberals when
Yes.
he was in office.
Yes, exactly.
So
It's
It wasn't somebody.
Yes.
It wasn't somebody famous. It wasn't somebody primary.
No.
It wasn't somebody who worked at frickin' CNN.
no, exactly.
and most importantly,
Um,
all of these other statements were done as specific protests.
Yeah,
Yeah, instead of just this word.
No, no, but
Severed
I'm just saying that you can't say that it wouldn't have that the same rules wouldn't be applied on the other side because we don't have an instance of this kind of behavior on the other side. So in fact, it's more of a compliment to the right that their mainstream public figures are
Well,
acting out in this way, even though there were some pretty
You guys
You
had
know.
like Pat Buchanan, didn't you? So-
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there
Oh no,
have
there
been
was some
Buchanan's
vile
never
shit
gone-
rolling
Yeah,
around. There
yeah.
was some vile shit, but never like
From a
this
public
try
figure.
hard.
Yeah, I
And-
think they made a good point. It's like they didn't tend to be quite as influential
no, exactly.
as
It was
let's
always
make
like
no bones
some.
about
It was
this.
always some crazy redneck with a Confederate flag or some bullshit, like doing shit like this. Where
Someone
it's just
easily
like,
dismissed.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
somebody easily dismissed, not somebody who has television contracts like going.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody,
And
yeah.
like if it had been like he said, like Dennis Miller or someone who was in the public eye heavily, it would have had probably the same reaction. But nobody's dumb enough to torpedo their career like that. And that's the only reason why she made the second video was
I think that's why a lot of the smart liberal celebrities are keeping their mouth shut at this point.
yeah.
And I,
'Cause
I think
they
something
know.
that needs to be borne in mind here is that this is the end result of decades on decades of tit for tat escalation.
hmm
Both sides have been getting nastier to each other, and this time around, Kathy, what's her face, essentially decided, you know what, I'm just going to take it to that next notch.
Yeah.
And finally, the country said, nope, that's too far.
Anyways, let's switch over to Bill Maher because it is a bit of a different situation, even though
Our house
Bill Maher said nigga, and now everybody is upset.
And it was an obvious joke.
yeah,
And it was off
at
the
himself.
cuff. He just moved on. It wasn't being serious. It was obvious.
Yeah.
It was
and
a
it was
bad joke,
self-deprecating.
but
what I do find it funny that some of the people who jump to the defense of PewDiePie, 18 nigga, is now like, oh, Bill Maher said it, we can jump on him because that's like,
Yeah.
and it's
no,
showing.
it wasn't
I think
conservatives
it's-
that were going after
No, I'm
him.
not. No, I'm saying there's some people who are like, oh, these are the standards he holds to himself. We can use their hypocrisy against them, kind of thing. It's like, yeah, if you keep doing that, you're going to start doing it unironically, Just-
Yeah, but the thing about him doing that is he's always he the problem with his show is he's been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
And
You
he's
got-
run out of stuff to say.
He's stuck in a rut, basically.
And
Didn't
so
somebody
that whole
roughly-
line was not rehearsed. He did not think about it because if he had actually thought about what he was saying, he wouldn't have said it. And now it's his ass because the left are coming after him.
What I thought was funny was that one article, though, where they actually broke down to it being the difference between a vowel and a consonant.
yeah, the A or the ER or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said
A
ER,
R.
so that's the bad one.
Yeah, but
Really?
it
If he had said house nigga, they would have been fine with it. I don't think so.
No, they wouldn't have,
You
but they
can
would
kind of tell
have.
the difference.
No,
like,
you're
Place
trying to find logic in witch
Oh.
burners. Like
Yeah.
Yep.
all
And
he
it-
had to do was do something that they could consider a sin, and they're going to keep hounding him until he probably loses his show this time. Because this isn't even the first time he's like been in the stuff like this where
well, the last time
You
it
know,
was
he's-
the right. The right went after him the last time. during
Yeah.
politically
Yeah, for
incorrect.
the
For the
No, the left has gone after him before. Like,
oh
remember
yeah
when
yeah
he,
yeah. But
but
I'm
when he
talking
lost
about
his show,
when he
it
was
when he lost
talking
his show.
about
9/11 joke.
Yeah.
well, yeah, there was the 9/11 joke, and then there was just
Well,
him
that
in
wasn't really a
general.
joke. He said it as a statement.
Jen,
Yeah.
I'm talking about because Bill Maher is an avid atheist. This dude
Yeah.
made pretty much an entire movie religious about making fun of Islam in the first place, and that's always been that breaking point with him when it comes with the left, that he will shit on Islam no matter what they do or say.
Yeah.
So they've gone after him for that before. This was just I honestly think that this is them trying to get rid of Bill because they know they can't control Bill Maher, even though they agree with a lot of the things he
You
says.
think?
Essentially, you
Yeah.
stepped off
Maybe.
the reservation, and we need to get rid of you now.
Well,
And it's not like it's the first time. Like
Yeah.
if it were, but they know they can't control him, and he's wild enough to even go after them if he has to.
the only way
And I
HBO
too-
would
oh, sorry.
fire I'm sorry, I need to say this. The only way that
Go ahead.
HBO would fire him is if they lost subscriptions on it, which I don't think they will. So they will not fire a person who's a mainliner for the Friday night, one of the best Friday night slots that they have, just
Then
because there are some moral outrage out there. Because HBO doesn't work like that. They don't give a shit about the ratings.
I would argue that networks have done dumber shit.
Well, this is not a regular network. That's the difference. Is that yes, they've fired people over stupid shit before because of letter campaigns, but HBO works on a subscription basis. It's different. As long as they don't see a drop in the amount of clicks his show gets, or the amount of subscriptions that they lose because of this, then they won't give a shit. They won't care. That's the main thing about HBO. And the thing is, I don't want any of them. I don't want Kathy Griffin to lose her job, even though I don't like the way that she portrayed it, because it was a fucking stupid thing to do. And the same thing with the Bill Maher thing. It was a fucking stupid thing to do. Let's move on. He's learned from it.
Here's the thing that I have to say. I have to comment on that comparison. What Bill Maher said was an off-the-cuff, self-deprecating joke.
Yeah.
It is clear and within context. That's what he did. Kathy Griffin was trying to get a rise out of people, to draw attention to herself.
She's trying to be edgy.
She is trying to be an edgelord, and she went to a place which is, I'm sorry, but in American law, it really comes down to whether or not a court is willing to interpret this as being a legitimate threat,
Right.
or whether or not it's even considered a call to action.
Yeah.
And her saying after the fact, and this was not just her being stupid. This was her being stupid to the point of the two kids during the Clinton administration who got arrested for emailing each other jokes about assassinating Clinton. They were arrested for this. They were investigated for this. So this is shit that does happen, and you can't just say, well, it was dumb and it's a one-off. There is a difference here. I don't think Bill Maher should be punished. It's kind of like, hey, Bill, that was tasteless. Could you maybe not do that again? Oh, okay, no big deal. Kathy Griffin went beyond just being tasteless. And I don't have a problem with her being fired for being that far over the wall.
Yeah. No, I get that. I understand that. It's just that and I understand why it can be interpreted as a call to action. I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about the Kathy Griffin situation in general, that it is that stance is a threat. It's not the bad guy is dead. It's this person is dead and you're next, because she's holding it directly in front of the camera. It's a very fucking effectful way of doing it. It's why ISIS do the videos that they do. Yeah. It's an effigy.
It's an effigy. It's a statement of intent.
Yes.
Again,
So
It could be interpreted as such, rather.
Yeah.
My concern comes back to which is potentially legally liable, because that's the point.
Yeah.
A corporation has to go, we have to cut you loose.
No,
If you had a
I
prostitution-
understand.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
CNN doing what they did completely.
All right,
I would never advocate for anybody losing their job unless they're fucking crappy at their job, which is what Way said.
Well,
I think
if you had a prosecution, they'd probably bring up that story from November saying go for his kids.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
the effect that had on Baron, you know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I necessarily believe that story either, because I understand he's
the
11, but
there wasn't a source on the news article either, so I don't
No.
know whether that quote is legit.
No.
Who fucking knows?
Exactly. No, exactly. It's
news.
weird. It's weird. Let's move on, because we had 2 weeks off, so we have the Wonder Woman situation as well. Let's get into that, because apparently it's not diverse enough, and it's not feminist enough.
Gal Gadot. There was a thing on Twitter Moments, and this was a curated thing. This wasn't the thing that was naturally trending. This is something that Twitter wanted people to see.
Oh, joy.
A long conversation on why Gal Gadot, because the Wonder Woman film was popular, people liked it, it's doing well. Yeah, everyone agrees that it's a pretty good bit of film. Not perfect, but good. And what's the amazing thing about this is that because it's popular and the people like it, now, because of the culture critics have to make some clickbait, they're now shitting on it. My favourite piece of clickbait on this was indeed, can Gal Gadot be considered to be a person of colour?
Oh, Jews white.
Oh, Jews white.
she's Jewish. Yes.
If you ask the Daily Stormer, no.
It's like, we need to shit on this film, so we need to strip the main character of her status as oppressed so that we can go ahead and attack her.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, they set up calling her a Zionist, and that was before the movie was out, if I remember rightly.
Well, she is. She is.
Yeah.
That's her view. I don't care.
Former Israeli military, right?
And what
Former
other
Israeli
stuff?
military, which is why she's so damn fit.
She is our new Arnie, if you think about it. Came from a foreign land, was in an art, from a foreign land, was known that foreign land for being in the military, then became famous for being attractive to look at, then got into films, and is getting by on her looks and charisma more than her acting talent. New Arnie.
So you're saying she's going to become a governor?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I didn't know
She's going to
Arnie
become
was
the
in the
Kennedys.
army. Arnie in the
Yeah,
army.
he was an Austrian. He was a tank commander.
Oh, really? That
I-
makes
I
a lot of
think-
sense, really.
To me,
Piece of
one of
information.
the greatest turnarounds on this whole thing is how the feminists were building up the whole thing with women-only screenings, which, by the way, happen to be illegal in America. You may not discriminate for a sale of a service on basis of gender.
Public service, including movie theaters.
And no men would be allowed to be employed that evening either.
Yes, and then it's like, no guys allowed. This is a women's film. This is empowerment of women. And wait a second, the guys like it.
This is for us. This is for us.
Don't watch me, silly boys.
It's,
Fucking Stephen Miller just strolls right in, and there's nothing. It's basically showing the Empress has no clothes. Anyway,
I haven't watched it yet, so.
I need to see it as well. It looks good.
Somewhere.
It does.
With all this,
Is crying, weeping, not understanding. Wonder Woman's not fat and falling down and being obnoxious. What's the why do people like this? Fat woman falling down equals feminist glory.
Yeah, well,
and here, go ahead.
Only if it's due to a stair muffin.
Say again, sorry?
stair muffin.
Oh yeah.
What
That's
I
what
really
I
like about
said.
the film
There was
itself
no stair muffins.
is like, okay, the film does hit feminist viewpoints, but it does it from the point of view of setting. It's the era is pre.
Are you saying it's not ham-fisted?
Yes? it's an organically told story of advancing feminist ideals without shoehorning or hammering it home.
Are you
And
saying?
that's why they're upset.
I was confused and scared because I'll be honest. There was a point I was actually scared because the characters didn't suddenly drop character and start to explaining to me feminist viewpoints like in every other goddamn show and comic I've been looking.
Oh, they didn't come out.
Kimmy Schmidt, I swear to God, they stop and talk about male rape statistics out of the blue.
So they didn't come out of the screen and held your hands? You means like me as a writer could actually do something without tying ideology into every fucking thing? Oh, I'm shocked. I'm aghast.
Yeah. And out of all of these things, did you really expect it to come from a comic book IP?
Imagine my shock.
Yeah, and not only that. Well, not just that. A DC movie as well. Because Marvel have been doing it pretty well without tying too much ideology into it. And, yeah.
Female-led movie, female director, did really well. Feminist, don't think it's feminist enough.
So, Bay's made a good point. It's like mentioning mansplaining. Do you remember that fucking comic where they caught a guy in the lasso of truth and then they claim he's mansplaining? He's giving a canon explanation that mansplaining is actually the truth.
You're compelling him to be honest and then punching him because you don't like him being honest because he's mansplaining.
Yeah,
the truth, the lasso of truth can make men tell the truth, but it can't stop mansplaining. It's that fucking IP I think can now be saved because of that movie. If what I'm reading is correct, and if what Plipp says is correct as well,
it seems to me that what's going on here, the source of this outrage, is that the women are going like, it made feminist points without pissing guys off. If it doesn't do that, it's not feminism.
Of course, if men aren't reacting negatively to it, they don't see the point of it.
Yeah, their version of feminism is, did it make men angry? No, then it's not true feminism.
Yeah,
but I will say this to the people that are worried about this Wonder Woman film not being feminist enough. Don't worry, Joss Whedon is now directing the Justice League film. So what we're going to have is Wonder Woman now behaving like Buffy, just like all the other characters found in multiple films. They hit the Joss Whedon one. They all start going beep beep.
Oh God! Can you
stop
ruining franchises? Sorry.
Dear Joss Whedon.
Your career is over. Please stop.
We all liked Buffy. We liked Angel. We loved Firefly. But stop now.
Yeah. Stop it.
Can we possibly get Joss Whedon and J.J. Abrams to team up on finally putting the last nail in the coffin of Star Trek, or has that already been done?
It's done. It's done. Star Trek's done.
That's been done. Apparently, I hear they fucked up the new series as well. So it's done for.
Yeah, it's done.
My favorite thing out the one thing though is there was a tweet that said was it she's not black, but isn't she from the Amazon?
There's so much in that statement that needs to be unpacked. First of all, no, she's an Amazon. And the Amazon rainforest was named after the Amazon, not the other way around, you fucking moron. And secondly, the Amazon is in South America, where there's Native Americans, not black people. Stop it. You're thinking of the Congo River, you moron.
It reminds me of Playmobil are releasing a new the biggest selling toy in Germany at the moment is Playmobil's Martin Luther. First comment: why is he white skinned?
Yeah.
It was the Egypt thing as well. Like not
Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, we can move in on to that right now because scientists have said now that the mass amount of Egyptian pharaohs were not black. Shock and awe. Cute.
Didn't they lose the guy who played the main guy on Mr. Robot? They're like, why isn't it a black guy? And they're like, he's Egyptian, you fucking moron.
Well, that's the thing. a lot of
He's
people they
actually
have
Egyptian.
a lot of people they have this, especially when it comes with the American Black community. They have because they don't know anything about Africa. So when it comes to knowing any history about the different nations, they're clueless. And so they feel like they have some bit in African royalty and whatever, and it's purely a self-esteem thing. Like
Well,
people trying to
there had
pretend
been
like their ancestors were warriors. You weren't African, chances are, because you're West African, and the Egyptians weren't really all that involved in the slave trade, other than selling people. So
well,
if you were involved with them at all, it's because you were being sold as some property.
They African unless your skin color is charcoal.
Yeah.
Any other skin color equals not African, because that's how fucking racist they are.
Yeah.
My favourite one was when they said some, East Asian Oriental types, and they were saying, "Oh no, they're white people as well." It's like, okay, I give up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
white
the Tamil people are not, usually black. So yeah, fuck it. It's such a that's my problem with the whole we were Kangs. Yes, at some point we were all Kangs, because if you go far enough back in your lineage, at some point your
seem
family
rather
was
upset about
There's
this.
a king.
Hey, you wanna really upset the we were Kangs dudes?
Yeah.
There's been recent evidence to show that human beings didn't evolve in Africa and spread outwards. They evolved in Europe.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
There has
correction
been
on that. Correction
There
on
is a
that.
correction.
Yeah.
The majority of evolution of humanity did occur in Africa, but the first split from the apes that they can determine was in
Yeah.
in
Well, they
Greece.
found
we was Greeks, y'all.
Yeah, we were Greek.
But the thing is,
we was Greek.
one of
We
the
was Greeks and shit.
Yeah.
One of the arguments I hear a lot is that Europeans have Neanderthal DNA, where like the only race that doesn't have Neanderthal in their ancient ancestry are Africans, which I think is still considered true.
that does.
But the thing is,
if that's considered true, that's not good for them, because Neanderthals had larger brain.
No,
Physically larger brain.
No, Evil. You're not starting your eugenics program yet. Calm the fuck down.
We need to get the moon base up and running before we can start this, all right?
but these are the same people.
I'm just saying, like, if you want to look into things, then you got to look into them properly. Otherwise, you're not making an argument against your own point.
Yeah, but
this is, you'll see these people say that Africans are sort of genetically purer, and at the same time say mixed race people like Beyonce and Rihanna are objectively more attractive and healthier and things. So fuck your racial purity.
Yeah, well,
and it also,
yeah. Well, that's the
it
problem.
also gets
with,
into that screwball shit. Yeah, if you saw the meltdown at Evergreen University when they're screaming about white people, we built these cities when you were still living in your caves. It's like that's not
This
based
is
on anything.
how it works.
This is university. Is this university?
Yes,
Burn it
Evergreen
down.
University.
Burn it down. It's done for. Burn it. It's no good.
It's considered one of the most left-wing universities in the United States.
It's Evergreen. We're getting to Evergreen a little later, because
just wanted to throw that out there. Is like that we have this huge body of evidence that they also rely on. These people on the left love to talk about the idea that all of humanity came from Africa, and therefore there is a certain basis for African supremacy.
Oh yeah,
but no, stop with the supremacy bullshit.
Yeah.
We're just human fucking beings.
Yeah, and there's a caveat to the skeleton discovery as well. The skeleton was discovered in Greece. That only means that the species, as far as we know, existed in Asia Minor and the Greek peninsula. It does not necessarily mean that it didn't exist in Africa as well. It's yeah. Yes.
We was Kangs, bro.
No.
Can we move on to another topic?
We were all Kangs. That's my point. If you trace
We
your
was Spartans,
lineage,
y'all.
yeah, if you trace your lineage far enough back, you will hit a king. I have several in my lineage from the Norse era. I don't, you know, it doesn't mean that I
We're
run
all
around
descendants
trying.
of
And it doesn't mean that I
we're all
run around.
descendants of Genghis Khan anyway.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
one way or another.
Yeah, in one way or another, we're here because of Genghis Khan. Yeah, let's.
Rapey bastard, dirty rapey bastard.
We were
No, but
we were cons and shit.
Oh, dear.
that's
We
even
was
better.
Mongolians.
We were cons.
That's it.
Con.
Changing the name of the podcast now. We was Khans. Come on now.
Yes.
We was cons.
No, but the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I love history, and this whole fucking this whole
It's
revisionism.
historical revisionism.
Yeah, the historical revisionism that's going on, sort of trying to tie everything to that's the thing, is everything that humanity has invented should be used for humanity's sake, not for one race, not for one creed, not for one color, just for humanity in general. I know I sound like a fucking
Yeah,
hippie.
I think I figured something out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I figured something out. I'm starting to figure out just why they want a university to be free now. Not worth the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why they're demanding to be free. They're going in and coming out going, well, I found out that everyone is basically essentially black, apart from Asians who are white, and white people are basically automatons that are figments of my imagination.
It's okay. You have to look at it as a self-esteem thing. That's where it originated from in the first place, because everybody else can track their lineage.
Yeah.
And go through their family trees and figure out who they are, descendant-wise. But African Americans can't do that.
Yeah. And I think
without it getting really. I am talking.
Yeah, sorry.
Without it getting really dirty and really, really dark, and finding out that there might have been a slave master that raped somebody along the lines, and shit like that. So the whole latching on to Egypt is more of it's the only African country they really know about that had any type of real wealth or power in the world. And I mean, if they were smart, they would, actually look up West African culture and West African, history, and they'd bring up they don't even know who the Zulus are, and
these motherfuckers crossed the Sahara, set up trade cities across the Sahara. That is one of the major prehistorical accomplishments. All right.
Yeah.
And the thing is if they actually knew about these other tribes and these other cultures, they would claim them, but they don't, so they just claim Egypt because Kangs. Yeah. And it's more of a coping mechanism with them not wanting to really deal with their history and how dark it is.
Yeah.
And
it's
yeah.
It never really had any credibility in the first place. It was just an assumption. Well, and so now it's shattered. They're not going to admit it for a very long time. Like anybody who said some we was Kangs level shit isn't going to admit that the Egyptian hierarchy was mostly white. They're not going to admit that.
Are you saying they're the equivalent of that white supremacist guy that did a DNA test on and they found he was like 1/4 black?
Yes, exactly the same thing.
I think there's.
That shit was hilarious, man. Yeah. I loved that. That was hilarious. The look on his face, he's just like, no, wait, no.
Here's your Harry Carey knife. Do everyone a favor and do the right thing.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing I've ever seen
and that's
from
the thing in the U.S. In the U.S., there's been so much race mixing that nobody's pure anything to any degree, and anybody who claims to be pure is lying, or they don't know their actual.
Plip.
We are the mongrel horde.
Plip, you wanted to say something, and then I want to say something as well, and then we'll close the topic.
Yeah, I was to say to Artivous, just from what he was just saying, I am part Scottish, Irish, and English, and I'm considered to be over here about 100 years ago. I would be a complete mongrel, but my favorite thing about the revisionist people is look up King George III of England. I have seen one of these historical revisionists claim that was quite clearly a black man repainted as white. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, I've heard that as well.
I got something that
Shakespeare stole
the
a black
UK
man's
guys
work.
will get. I have created in my offspring the the completely unholy union. He has English, Irish, and Scottish blood.
Ooh.
Me too.
Just say it.
He
No,
is
but
the Jar Damaka!
Last thing on this.
I am evil.
Yeah. But last thing on this is yes, I think that the reason, as Artivous said, it's a self-esteem thing why they keep doing this, and I think it is related to the theory that I'm sorry to have to mention his name again in this podcast, but Jordan B. Peterson has about having
We always get one.
but having some sort of culture to found your identity in. And since that the African American community in the U.S. has had so little foundation to go upon, and so dark a foundation, is such a dark background for their culture, I understand why they go to the.
It's a pride thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's not. It's not truthful, but it's never really stopped anybody before, really.
No, exactly. It's like I and this is not breaking Godwin's law, I swear, but it's like the Nazis and the Atlantis myth. They hang on to
wouldn't.
No, I'm not comparing the two at all. I'm just saying it's the same type of technique that you draw from some mythical past that you may have had to justify your ideology. Anyways, let's move on, because we got another science report to talk about, and that's the NASA report on glaciers, especially the Thwaite Glacier in the Antarctica, which I find fascinating because I'm not a climate change denier, but I do find the latest amount of reports coming out of NASA really fascinating, because it seems like the projections were a bit hasty. Just a tiny little.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. When you have a subject of science that everyone screeches, you're an anti-science denier at the slightest bit of criticism, some people are going to get away with embellishing stuff a little bit. Just saying.
Let's brass tack it right off the bat. It says, according to this thing from NASA here, that they may have overestimated the glacier's total ice loss by about 7% over the next 50 years.
Yes.
And bearing in mind that this, in turn, is supposed to be 1%, that it's potentially capable of raising, of adding to 1% of the overall sea rise. That's when you're talking about the kind of margins that they discuss, that can actually be pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like, why have we not already flooded the Maldives? Why aren't they not underwater? This might be a reason. You overestimated this shit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, and we can also tie into the Paris Agreement after this topic. But that is one of the reasons why I say that we need to have a proper fucking talk about this continually. Not just okay, we've decided this is absolutely correct, we'll do this and this and this and this and this to combat it, and then this is absolute gospel, this is not going to change, and then reports come out that okay, we may have been a bit hasty, because that's how science works. That's exactly how science works. It's not an absolute truth that you discover every time you make a prediction. It's not assumptions, but it's educated guesses.
But that's what they keep trotting out with the 97% figure that they always like to. 97% of the science is settled. It's not. What they have, and I went and looked this up myself. 33% of 12,000 papers on climate change said that you have anthropocentric, I can't even say it, human-caused global warming. They say humans cause it. In 33% of these papers that even discuss it, only 33% even raise the issue that humans are causing it. And of those, 97% say definitely it's humans causing it. So it's 97% of 33%.
Of the ones they're paying attention to. I'm with you.
Right.
But
and the other 66% don't have an opinion one way or the other.
No, they just state that the climate is in some sort of change, but we don't know the reason for it.
They don't attribute human causes to the problem.
No. Exactly. They are just reporting on what they're finding, not making educated guesses or assumptions.
Reporting on their observation.
Yeah.
Now the other important part of that particular study is that once the AGW people, the pro-human cause people, started asking the others to take a position one way or the other, then they started agreeing, saying, "Oh yeah, it's human caused." That's not science. The data itself didn't change. That's peer pressure.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying.
And I'm not even saying that humans can't be part of the cause.
No, exactly. It could be a far more complex problem than we realize, and it may not be a complex problem either. It may just be part of the cycle. I may have to move because the ice is coming down in a couple of 100 years. Who knows? And
I think the issue is that none of us are happy to say we know for sure that it's man-made.
Absolutely
not. The Paris Accord was, and it was asking for money from its adherents.
Yeah. So should we get into the Paris Agreement thing? Because I think they're...
I think this leads right in.
I have a real simple opinion on that sort of shit. You can have whatever accords or whatever you want, but as soon as you start asking for money from the member countries, fuck you. I don't believe you anymore.
Do you know who's the biggest paying country of the Paris Accord?
Paris?
No.
Please say it's not us.
And now the US has pulled out. Guess who's number one now, motherfuckers?
Germany.
No.
No? Us?
Yes.
Fucking hell. What are we just throwing our money down a goddamn drain?
Because
let's put it this way. Let's assume global warming was human caused. Without an agreement between the US and China on what to do about it, it doesn't matter what the fuck else the rest of the world does.
Well,
that is
Well,
that's kind of the problem.
Here's the. I'm an environmentalist, okay? I'm a hippie.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, God
Fuck yeah. I have headphones on, you asshole. No, but
I have earbuds in.
I didn't do the high pitch one.
But here's what I am. I'm more of an individualist environmentalist. I think that people...
It's more of an intellectual individualist.
Intellectual individualist environmentalist. Do you want me to tack on any more fucking labels, you asshole? No, but I believe that people in general can change. I mean, individuals can change this. It's going to take a lot of work, and it takes a lot of fucking information to float out there, but I do think so. I've been to third world countries where they don't have the same type of sanitation system that we have in industrial countries, and they have no fucking clue of how to act environmentally. So the industrialized countries are not the problem in this in the fight against or trying to make the world more environmentally friendly, but it is the third world countries that are now experiencing an industrial revolution, basically. In a lot of those countries, they are the ones that are going to be the major polluters. I mean, look at China. Jesus fucking Christ. Beijing.
I was actually going to comment specifically on China.
Yeah.
China owns 15% of the world's coal reserves. Fossil fuels are the cheapest, easiest way that they have to produce electricity. They're also a major exporter of that to North Korea, which is why when they called off the North Korean shipments, that was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
China is still moving from an agricultural society to an industrialized one, and they are much bigger. They're at 1 billion people. When the United States did that, we were at 100 million. So they are 10 times the amount of transition that we had, and we still remember, we still have in our history books, this is what Pittsburgh looked like then and now.
Yeah.
It's the difference is literally night and day. It used to be, the word was that if you lived in Pittsburgh, it could be high noon and it would still be pitch dark because of all the soot in the air. That is Beijing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the sort of hurdle that not only China, but as you were saying, the industrializing third world, that's billions more people who are going to be lifted out of poverty by industrialization, by improving their economic position, and they're going to produce more pollution. So the cleaner countries, the countries that have already tackled these issues, Germany, Italy, France, the United States, the UK, essentially Western Europe and Western civilization, we already have gone through this for the last 100 years. Us cleaning up our act fractionally more is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Not saying that we shouldn't try, but we're not the drivers of human pollution on the planet right now.
No, and that was also my problem with the Paris Agreement, is that yes, you can agree on a sort of international level on the hierarchy that none of us can fucking reach, but it's not going to matter to the individuals down in the rung, apart from we pay for it, basically. So it's to the people at the bottom of the rung of the hierarchy, it just looks like someone's sticking a hand in their wallet and taking away their money, instead of focusing on what really could save a lot of people if they invested this money in trying solar antenna technology and so on, which is twice as effective as regular solar cells, and 10 times as cheap to make. So and vastly less pollutant to make solar cells with that technique. But it's such a my problem with it is that it's all of these agreements, all of these ideas are generated at the top without any sort of thought for individual mandate. So if you instead of saying for instance, if you, instead of saying that if we do this, the world in 200 years will not be flooded, or the coastal lines will not be flooded. How about you say, if you invest in this technology, if you buy these solar antennas, you can become completely independent off the major grid. You can, instead of you buying electricity from us, you could sell electricity through us. So instead of focusing on all the things that are positive with clean energy, they focus on all the bad shit about fossil fuel.
Look, if you want to sell clean energy and get people off fossil fuels, environmentalists, this is the argument you need to make.
Yeah.
You know how you hate Saudi Arabia and all their human rights abuses?
Yeah.
And that's where a large amount of the oil comes from? Hey, if you get off oil, you won't be supporting them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their argument.
We can just close the door and go, goodbye, you guys. Sort yourselves out. We'll talk later. See ya. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Germany, don't let them in. Germany, don't you let them in, Germany. Germany, sit down. Close the door, Germany. Hands off the handle. Hands off the handle, Germany. Oh, you're doing it in Germany.
I heard you saying Jeremy as in Corbyn.
Yeah.
Germany, you're not allowed to invade other countries. You're also not allowed to let other countries invade you.
Yeah.
Let them pass through.
Here's
the revenge.
there are different ways of convincing different people. So if you want to convince the human rights activists, you use the Saudi Arabia argument. If you want to convince the ANCAP people, you use the solar antenna argument. And if you want to convince the tree hugger, you'll just plant a tree. Just convince them to plant a bunch of trees in their area, because that will balance out a lot more. That's my problem.
To convince the communists, you use the helicopter argument.
Oh yeah. Helicopter.
The fertilizer will pay for itself.
Yeah. No, but it is this idea that if we're gonna have environmentalism,
helicopter fuel for a man and one giant leap for communism.
Yeah. No, but it's this idea that you sell them this one pitch Al Gore branded argument instead of just scaring people by saying, "Oh, this is going to happen in 50 years," and then you don't see a marketable change. You give them something that they're afraid of, like Saudi Arabia or the government or flooding, and then you point to something that you need to run towards. Don't you want to become completely independent? Don't you want no human rights abuses in most of the world? This is how you do it. You don't use the arguments of how you got convinced against other people. That's my point. And yeah, sorry. Yeah. As an environmentalist, I just get pissed off at it. Yeah.
I would like to propose a better solution. We bring back the slave trade. Just set up a load of treadmills with dynamos on them, and just make those motherfuckers run.
Let's run that past that guy T, and he could probably make a half hour.
Yeah.
Plippy, you gotta stop watching Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
You need to get the sleeves, Morty. Let's get them on the treadmills. Now give us the power.
What are you gonna call this? A blue ball yank?
I have not seen that episode. Sorry.
He literally done that in his car battery. He had a tiny little universe in the car battery, and he went in there and he had all these people doing exercise and softening off all the extra energy.
Oh no, there's no pretense here. This is not exercise. This is flat out run or I beat you. It's that.
Well, they're good at that.
That's what we're gonna find out.
Jesus Christ.
No, and Vey just said I'm noticing a distinct lack of molten salt reactor memes. Well, I have been a pro thorium dude for a long time, but I'd rather
only because Thor is in the name.
Yes, it is named after my god, so yes, of course. No, but
it's the Norwegian
feel the radiation of the thunder god.
No, actually.
Nuclear definitely is a good stopgap measure.
Yeah, there are ways that we can transition over
for baseline.
For easier use, but I still say that within 10, 20 years, people are going to be far more independent, and hopefully we'll look back at this as a sort of blip on human evolution, and that's also why I'm such a pro Earthship type of guy. But we don't have to get into that. That's going to take an entire fucking podcast for me to explain. So let's move on to the motherfucking topic of the day, because
none of the rest.
we need to cover this since we have two UK guys in here.
You think that Trump or Hillary was a bad move?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if Hillary won, but then recruited a bunch of fundamental hardcore. Imagine that she recruited the Westboro Baptist Church in with her group.
Oh,
yay!
That is what has happened here.
I don't know. I still think we're going to be okay, to be honest, because like I've said it a couple of times on Twitter. 2010. The Lib Dems had 59 seats, and they couldn't get a single fucking thing done in 5 years under the Conservative coalition. There's less than a fifth.
I'm just saying, it's not a good look.
The DUP.
It's not a good look, guys.
But this is the thing. So
Isn't what Theresa May essentially did the equivalent of an own goal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's the Hillary situation all over again. She should have crushed Labour. She should have left. She could have done nothing and said, slow and steady. We're going to carry on exactly as we're doing, but we're going to focus on getting a good Brexit. We're not going to change anything. Yeah. We're going to just go on Brexit and just let Labour just flounder and fall. But she just kept cocking up.
The last couple of months have been so bad. Some people are thinking that this was done on purpose to sabotage Brexit. That's how fucking bad it's been.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now you have the dupes, right?
And that. Well, yeah. I mean, she's not going out. She's lost majority rule, and this has been nothing but a shaking of the strong and stable platform that she was claimed to have. You know, it's.
No, I find this very fascinating because, as I understand it, she's going to the Queen to establish a new government, asking for this coalition with the dupes, meaning that she lost a waffling conservative viewpoint and is now having to hew further to the right in order to maintain some sort of majority control.
It depends on how you estimate the psychology of the situation. Most British people, they vote for the party which is going to pretty much make tomorrow like it was today. That's what most people really genuinely want. They want things to be
stability.
In terms of legislation, not much is going to change from this result, to be honest. We might have a slightly better relationship with Northern Ireland, which I guess would be a good thing.
Would be nice. That'd be nice.
Well, half of Northern Ireland. I was going to say it.
Yay, 1/8 of Ireland will like us, kind of, maybe.
Well, what was like every state but one or two got majority of the vote. I don't know how close it was. I just saw the coloured map, you know.
Are you?
But when I don't think we lost. I think Roy doesn't really understand the psychology of us. There are quite a few people who are Labour to the end, and there are a lot of people who are Tory to the end. Not as many though, but they are Tory to the end. They're normally kind of Labour really suck guys, and Tory seem okay. Let's just go with them. There is no waffling conservatives. There's everyone else in the middle, a bit more than people would like to think. They are more conservative than they'd like to let on. This is true, I think, with a lot of people in the UK. But at the same time, no one is really a member of a party that much. Everyone just looks at what they've got in front of them and votes straight ahead.
Yeah.
So it's
not like I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. It's not really that. But you do get people that I call sort of never cons, I guess, similar to your never Trump, never Clinton kind of.
Yeah.
It's basically a post-Thatcher mentality in that no one likes a Tory. Tories get out, and then every time they get into the country, every time they get into power, it's like, well, last one out of the country, turn the lights off, please, kind of thing. It's that kind of attitude.
It's
kind of thing.
Ironically, these people all come from the city that Thatcher completely put all the money into.
Well,
the people that Thatcher, London.
No.
Liverpool
up north.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah,
hates Tories.
North,
I know a lot of people from Liverpool. They do not like the Tories, and a lot of it is traced back to Hillsborough. Because if it hadn't been for Hillsborough, they probably Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of it happens in mining towns as well.
Mining towns, I can understand the mining towns hating it. That makes sense. But London, where she basically took all the money, all the power from those areas and put it into London, because that's where she put it. And now the Londoners have all grown up with rich kids who are now socialists who hate the Tories.
Yeah,
it's like, you wouldn't be where you were without Thatcher, and you hate her. Instantly, second female prime minister, America. You don't want a female president. They fuck everything up. Men of America.
I mean, just look at Canada. They got a female prime minister, and they're fucking it up too.
Actually, our female prime ministers have been pretty good. Gro Harlem Brundtland and Anna Solberg have been pretty.
That's because you're Norwegian, and when your ancestors went Viking, they only took the best and brightest from the other countries.
Ah, yes, that is true.
I'll say that one thing that I will say about Thatcher, she was super good at what she did. Theresa May just keeps shitting the bed. All I have to say to her is, like, Theresa, just sit there, do nothing, don't make any waves, and we'll win this election by a landslide. Just don't shoot the bed. And 30 seconds later, there'll be like this wet farting noise.
Well, there's don't shit the bed, but there's don't shit the bed, but also, you done?
Thank you.
There is don't shit the bed, but also maybe show up for debates. Maybe don't only talk about your most controversial conservative talking points, like weeks
We're
before
bringing
the
back
fucking election.
fox hunting.
Controlling the internet, bringing back money away from the poor. What the fuck? All you had to do was just say hard Brexit, and you would probably get a good amount of support. You would probably got that fucking majority.
What is your opinion on nuclear weapons? Hard Brexit. That's all she had to do.
Yeah. That's it. That is it.
We will choose what we want to do with our nuclear weapons when we get out of the fucking EU. Like, she could have twisted it. Politicians always manage to twist it into their own fucking...
These are very important considerations that require a united nations, a united kingdom, in fact, and we must wait for the matter of Brexit to be properly resolved before we can truly address this issue in the manner that it requires.
I think my biggest annoyance about this whole thing is all day Labour, Jeremy Corbyn, and the rest of them, they're parading around like they won.
Yeah, they're acting like they're fucking in.
They're acting like they've won and they've made huge gains. No, dude, you're back to where you were before you fucked it all up. That's
Well,
where you
yes,
are
but
now.
they weren't expecting that. That's the thing. To them, that is a win.
Yes, but I'm just saying to them that you can say this, but they're acting like they've won. And I'm just saying you didn't actually win. You basically you were Hillary Clinton. You were Hillary Clinton. You didn't because you were really compelling. You did really well because Theresa May put everyone off.
It's something I find
very. As I would say it, it's not that you won. It's that Theresa May lost.
Well, this is the thing. I find it very I actually think it's really sinister in that they're not celebrating any victory. They're celebrating weakening the current government.
Yeah.
You know?
And
there may be an opponent. Yeah, but you've shaken the fucking foundation. You've fractured like the country's stability from the governmental role and in the world politics, and they're fucking celebrating that. And it's disgusting.
And my favourite one is the one. Even Jonathan Pye was actually there, just out there saying, "It's a clear sign that the country wants socialism back." And it's like, no, it's a clear sign they just don't want Theresa May. They imagine it, you're up against Theresa May, and you still fail to get in.
Yeah. Have you seen the Socialist Workers' Party are organising protests down in London?
Oh, of course.
At the moment.
I've seen some photos of it. Yes.
I can tell it's the SWP because they've got their same fucking printed out George Soros.
It says on it. It says on the sign.
But Jesus, they have their guy in now. I mean, he's not. I have friends who are kind of who are enamored with Corbyn, but they don't realize how far left this guy actually is.
They don't get it.
Does that realize he's a commie?
No, and he's not a commie. He's a socialist. There's a difference. He wants to...
No, he's a Marxist. He's on record of saying he's a Marxist.
Yeah, but he behaves more like a Trotskyist.
Yeah, he does behave like a socialist Trotskyist.
What's the difference between socialist and a communist is time.
Yeah.
And dedication.
Time for the socialist regime to fucking fall apart and have to like drill down into communism because you can't just re-liberalize. You have to carry on with it and suppress dissent with your fucking police state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Communism.
They're gonna be repurposing that "keep calm and carry on" sign, aren't they?
No
bread in the aisles. Keep calm and carry on.
Well,
I will say this is amazing. If there was one good thing about this whole situation, it is that the SNP are effectively done for.
Oh, the Scottish Nationalist Party, eh?
There is going to be no more talk of Scottish referendum. And
fuck off, we widow twanky.
Yeah, they've worked out that the SNP, and I've said this before, the SNP, Labour's resurgence in Scotland won't come around until people realise the SNP don't actually do anything. And what happened?
One issue party, weren't they?
Yeah,
one issue party. And they just kept banging on and on and on and on. In the when you saw the talk in the House of Commons, you see whenever you see an SNP person stand up, everyone just kind of go, "Okay, let's hear this moan," and they would just moan about something, not give any solution.
So and mention William Wallace and Robert Bruce in every other sentence.
I was watching Braveheart again last night.
The only place that Mel Gibson is still respected. The Scottish national posturing, shall we just... Is that essentially it?
But here's the thing. My prediction was wrong. I always thought that when SNP would lose, it would swing back, be a massive Labour swing back. It wasn't. It was a swing back for the Tories up north.
Yeah.
Labour did get some seats as well, but it was mostly Tories winning stuff back.
Yeah.
That is the strange thing, though, because they're essentially the bastard child of the Labour Party.
Well, the Scottish
Kind of.
Nationalist Party is the bastard child of the Labour Party, but they are a nationalist party. That's the weird thing. It's for the independence of Scotland.
Want to be an independent. We want to be an independent Scotland because you aren't being Labour enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that. There was
okay.
It also comes from our own country. You have to remember there were so many people in England from liberal universities saying that they wanted Scotland to be away from England. It's just, but we are weak without Scotland. Don't you get this?
Yeah.
And it just gets you. That's what it got to click to me. Oh my god, you just want to damage England. You don't really. You just want Scotland and Wales and Ireland to be fine, but you just don't like your home. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like they want to see the entire British Empire fall piece by piece. So they basically started during the 1940s and 1950s. Took piece by
One
piece.
good thing London maybe we'll get our empire back.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
and what was it as well? It was like during the Brexit vote, it was Scotland against and London against, and then there was talk of London actually trying to secede from England.
Some people, they wanted to.
that wasn't going to go anywhere.
No, it wasn't. Just it is like the people who wanted California to secede after Trump won. That wasn't going to go anywhere either. But the fact that somebody actually floated it,
yeah.
It was a floater. That was a floater.
You have to remember when the Scottish referendum happened. It wasn't a separation from England; it was a separation from Westminster. I was saying, hey Scots, if we get rid of Westminster, can we all join you guys? We'll just get away from these guys. We'll just have a little it'll be like Vatican City in the middle of London, just like Houses of Parliament and big things there.
How do they not? I mean, if they want a free Scotland and the Republicans are behind them,
They are free.
Yeah,
They are free.
Yeah.
They don't though.
No. I'm saying, if they want an independent Scotland, and the people who want a British Republic are behind them, how do they know that the Scots won't reintroduce monarchy? Because they have had a tradition of very strong monarchs in Scotland ever since basically after the Dark Ages.
Scottish liberals wanting authoritarianism. Who would see
Just
that?
lays out the exact reason why you should love the dupe now.
Yep. So I was going to try and bring this up. Someone on my Twitter feed has looked into the DUP. It turns out they are for getting rid of the BBC license fee. So, yeah, I'm all for him now. Yeah. I'll take any fucking Northern Irish nationalism. Fucking just get rid of the license fee.
Yeah, but are they really just the one issue party? I mean, is that the only thing that they have? They have a couple of other things that maybe.
It's only been the Republic of Ireland making it part.
They did, and this is why I always thought that the argument for Scottish independence was silly, because they weren't just arguing for independence; they were also arguing for independence plus being subsidized for the military, plus being given oil, plus being given all sorts of things that they didn't actually have to be independent.
Mm-hmm. I will say my favourite thing was when we're having the Trident dispute. Trident obviously being our nuclear deterrent policy, system. Sorry. And people, and I heard some SNP people saying, and I kid you not, and Deef knows where I'm going with this, I don't see why we need it. It's not as if we ever use it. No, we don't use a nuclear deterrent. No, we have not. That is why Trident has never actually been used. It's the nuclear habit.
That's the point. It is the Ferrari of nuclear weapons, Prime Minister. Yeah.
But with that, we need to get into the really, really good part, because I can tell Deef is definitely getting frustrated right now. He's about to blow.
Okay.
So we need to lighten up the mood with our favorite politician of all time. You do it, Flip.
Okay, to give context, because Artivous wanted that, but he's fucking asleep right now. To give full context of this, there have always been, throughout British history, ever since the parliamentary system has been in place, there has always been the protest vote parties. These parties are parties that are clearly taking the piss. The monster raving loony parties and the such. So this year, in Maidenhead, which is Theresa May's current what's the word?
Her district.
Constituency. For example, a Lib Dem leader had Mr. Fishstick running against him.
Mr. Fishfinger.
Mr. Fishfinger, sorry.
He lost 300 votes.
Mr. Fishfinger. The whole point of these people is that they're ridiculous. They are stupid. And if they get votes that they're taking from you, these are the people that you know they are taking it from you because they are the protest vote. They don't expect to get in.
Yes.
They just went. The whole point is to show how many people care and they're not voting for you. And we are clowns. Is literally the point of them.
It is essentially a spoiled ballot.
Yeah, and running in the Maidenhead against running against Theresa May in Maidenhead, her constituency, was someone dressed up as Tickle Me Elmo, and someone running an homage to the 1980s film, which I loved when I was a kid, the sci-fi film Hyperspace, Lord Buckethead, who broke his all-time record. Apparently, he's the single highest Maidenhead person to ever run against a Tory, and he's siphoned over 200 votes, which is more than you might think for the town of Maidenhead.
204.
Yeah, 204.
I thought it was 296.
No,
it was really awesome. And Lord Buckethead, you can subscribe to him on YouTube, sign to on Twitter. I want to give you his complete. You watch the film Hyperspace to get a full go of him. I have his 2007. I have him right here. Lord Buckethead, his 2017 manifesto. Here we go. Strong, but not entirely stable leadership. Number 1. The abolishment of all lords, in brackets, except me. 2. Full facial coverings to be kept legal, especially bucket-related headgear.
Very important.
3.
Yeah, it's actually topical.
Yeah. 3. No third runway to be built at Heathrow. We don't need more where we're going. We don't need more runways. CFAC. Number 4. CFAX to be brought back immediately with the Oracle and other teletext services rolled over by the next Parliament.
Did you guys have CFAX? Because is that like
it's the thing that happened? It was that thing that was transmitted along the sound wave before we had digital. You know, your screen would roll. They had that and there'd be that.
Yeah.
See, teletext explained it to me.
Yeah, teletext is what we had. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we don't know because we didn't watch TV as a kid in other countries.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to help. I don't know if you had it or not. Number 5, a regeneration of Nicholason's shopping centre in Maidenhead. Number 6, Buckethead on Brexit. A referendum should be held whether there should be another.
Referendum to decide the referendum.
Number 7, nuclear weapons. A firm public commitment to build 100 billion renewal of the Trident weapon system, followed by an equally firm private commitment not to build it.
Public policy and a private policy.
They are secret submarines. No one will ever know. Win-win.
I love it. Brilliant.
Still going.
Nationalisation of Adelaide.
Of Adele.
Adelaide.
Sorry. Not Adelaide. Adele. In order to maximise efficient use of UK resources, the time is right for the great British assets to be brought into public ownership for the common good. This is to be achieved through capital spending.
Tax the rich and spend it on Adele.
Number 9.
A moratorium
A moratorium 2022 until whether Birmingham should be converted into a starbase. Number 10.
Fuck that.
Legislation on the hunting of fox hunters.
The hunting of fox hunters, legalise it.
Number 11. Katie Hopkins. Sorry. A new age limit to 16 to be introduced. And a new voting limit age to 80 to be introduced to.
Get the boomer votes out in a couple of years.
Basically, it's going to limit everyone. Basically, you can vote at 16, but you can't vote until you're 18. 12. Katie Hopkins will be banished into the Phantom Zone. Stop selling.
The Phantom Zone might be like what she calls her next thing, so she's been shit canned from LBC.
Oh yeah. Number 13.
This is the one that would have my vote. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 13. Stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Start buying lasers from Lord Buckethead.
Lasers. Just writing on
Freaking lasers.
Number 14. Prospective MPs to live in the seat they wish to represent for at least 5 years before election to improve local representation in Parliament.
Something tells me he's already done that.
That's his joke. That's the joke one.
What's this radical idea about prospective MPs living in the seat they wish to represent for 5 years? Oh, we just put that in for a joke!
Number 50. Free bikes for everyone to help combat obesity, traffic congestion, and bike theft.
Looking at you,
Well,
David
if
Cameron.
everybody gets a free bike, then you don't need to steal a bike, do you?
It makes
It's
sense.
brilliant. It's
Jesus.
bloody brilliant.
Is there more?
I lost my
Is
bike, Mr. Buckethead. Can I have another? Yeah, it's just a picture of him at the end.
Yeah.
I tell you, I love his military argument regarding the nuclear deterrent because he's absolutely right. It's like, well, we don't know that we haven't seen any of these submarines, right? And you're not going to. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love
it
it
when
when,
win-win.
yeah.
This is basically the Saddam Hussein idea of nuclear weapons. Just say you have them whenever anyone asks. Nothing could go wrong with that. Only, oh shit, the entire West is allied with this person who, if they knew we didn't have nuclear weapons as powerful as we're saying, would bomb the shit out of us.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
Know what I mean? Say no more.
Well, that's
Nuclear weapons squad. Nuclear weapons.
This is why I love UK politics ahead of a lot of others, because
It's so British.
if we would have done that in Norway, nobody would have paid attention at all, because or it would have been a huge fucking brouhaha.
One or the other.
Because we actually take politics kind of serious in Norway, which is weird.
And we don't. Is that what you're saying?
No, you have no
Respect.
sort of respect for your politicians, which I love, because you
Yeah,
shouldn't have respect
this-
for people who haven't earned your respect.
Yeah, psychologically, I think it's the difference between us and America. Because America, they always have the presidential office to be the highest office in the land.
Yeah.
In the UK, we don't have that.
No,
It's the Queen
yeah.
and the King. They get our respect. These guys who actually run us get our ridicule.
And we just, I think it's just
speaking
natural.
of respect, I believe that we need a moment of respect because the inventor of Hawaiian pizza has passed away. Sam Panopoulos has died age 83, which, if you think about it, is the emoji for cat face. And he is the inventor of Hawaiian pizza, according to BBC.
Well, good riddance.
When I was saying-
Pineapple
when I
has
was-
no
when-
place
shut up.
on pizza.
Shut up.
This
In
is
my
the man
youthful
who
years,
began-
Hawaiian French bread pizza was my jam, okay?
Well,
Breakfast,
there's your
dinner.
part. There's your problem. You use it as a fucking jam instead of
No.
eating it like a pizza.
Here's the great thing,
Oh.
though. Here's the great thing. He did it for a lark in the 1960s, being a Greek immigrant to Canada. He's the most non-Hawaiian guy you could think of to come up with a Hawaiian pizza.
Did it have the name at the time?
Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
You have to think he sat here and it's like there's this. I'm from Greece and there's this Hawaiian, or excuse me, there's this Canadian bacon that they want to put on a pizza. What can I possibly do with this? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
add pineapple.
Well, he wouldn't have called it Canadian bacon, being from Greece and being from not the US, he would have just called it bacon. Because
Mhm.
you guys are the ones with the weird things.
No.
It's ham.
Canadian bacon is not bacon. It's ham.
It's ham.
Oh shit! Okay, I was given the wrong info then. I thought bacon.
I just felt that we needed, because of the Hawaiian pineapple controversy pizza thing, that we just an era has ended.
That's like something in the movies, where the battle's raging and then just like the key figure in the middle just goes ahead and dies, and then it's the tragedy of that brings the two sides together.
Yeah,
It's the age of Aquarius. That's what it is. We
Oh,
finally
yes.
got rid of that fucking Hawaii pizza asshole, so now we can
this
move
is
into
the dawning of the
more
age of Hawaiian
enlightened
Zan.
times and start singing the
Jan?
Hair soundtrack.
Jan?
Yes. I know.
No. You don't get to talk about these things. You put
What?
sweet corn
Because-
on the pizza.
No. I
Nothing's wrong with sweet corn on
I
pizza.
I did not
No.
say that I put sweet corn on pizza. I said there
You did
exists a pizza with sweet
You
corn
were
on
the
it.
person. You were the
And I
person
bought
that
it.
showed me the picture of it. Take the blame.
He did not.
No, I
did.
showed you a
He
picture
did.
of the fucking box, dude.
I know. So you are the blame for putting that idea in my head.
Yeah, I am.
I'd like
I
to-
am.
I'd like
And thank
to-
you for putting Chris Chan in my head, okay? But
I would like to. I'd like to. I'd like to
Hey, I
slide in
didn't
here
show you
and
the
make.
picture of the.
No, you don't need to.
I would like to slide in and make a point here. Old Buckethead, whose favorite TV show is Lovejoy. I'd like to point that out.
Yeah.
I looked at his Twitter account. Yesterday, he had less Twitter followers than me. Today, he has nearly 40,000.
It's hilarious. I love it. I love when.
So, in
We
his
don't
own
care.
way, he's won the election.
Oh yeah.
And it's so weird that he's actually standing there next to Theresa May with her looking really confused, and next to I think that's a UKIP guy, and he's just standing there giving the thumbs up between Theresa May and the UK.
I am
I think
really
you could-
wondering whether or not Nigel Farage is going to come back after all this.
Probably not.
He said he would. He said he said he would. He says Theresa May should resign because she's just ballsed it up, and she shouldn't. And he says if things continue, he says if we pass on the Brexit, he would have to return to active politics. That's what he did say, and he does have a habit of following through with what he says. To give him his credit.
Isn't he still an Euro MP?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
His
he's
term
still
hasn't ended
in active politics. He's just don't give a
Yes,
shit.
he is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Should we move on to our last couple of topics, or do you have anything else to say about the UK election before we end?
We're doomed. We're doomed. We're doomed. We're not doomed. We're not doomed.
I did.
It is a boo, though. It is the worst. Actually, no. It may be the best possible result, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it may be the best possible result. There's awful manifestos that are put out because neither of them won. Those manifestos are now not mandates.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Good point.
Sorry, I thought we were still on Pizzagate for a bit there.
No. I that is my big takeaway from this, is the mere fact that these two situations are that they wanted a mandate from the people.
Legacy.
The mandate that they could do, and they tried to force us one.
Yeah.
And no party's got the mandate. So I think that's good.
Yeah, it makes them a bit more unpredictable now, though.
It does, but at least now we've got a better grounds to bitch about it in public.
There's that.
Yep. Well, it's another election and another surprising fucking result. Anyways, we have two topics left, and they are kind of
20 minutes to do them in.
yeah, they are kind of connected because since we weren't here last week, there's been a bunch of new things happening at Evergreen, and in addition, a second professor has come out to
Well, I hope he's happy, and whoever his life partner is, I hope they're good together.
yeah.
As long as they have a good
Well,
life together. Don't mind.
They let me see if I can find it now because I had it up here earlier today. But do you want to explain the Evergreen situation, Plip? Since my co-host has fallen asleep.
Ethnic minorities be angry, yo. That's all I know about it.
Well, I think I can go into more details. So, Evergreen College, known in America as incredibly left-wing and liberal, they had a yearly pastime called the Day of Absence / Day of Presence. And what this was all of the non-white students would leave the university for the day in an attempt to show the impact that they make on the university and how things would be so much worse if they weren't there. I imagine that a lot of the white students, when they first heard this, was like, great, we can get some shit done that day. Instead, they were... that was supposed to be a joke. So I just hold up a head in future.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's getting late. Fuck you. Instead, they were forced for the entire day to hear about how they were horrible and evil and oppressive because they were born the wrong skin color for the whole day. And apparently, no one had a problem with that until this year. They wanted to boot out the white students instead.
No. Let me correct you there, Deef, because there wasn't it wasn't the white students that were sent to workshops to talk about racism. It was the colored students.
Oh right, they went to the
the students of color. Basically, I fucking hate that phrase. Minority students.
The socks.
Yeah.
The socks.
Yeah. They went to the workshops. The white students continued the day as usual, as far as I've understood it, at least.
That is the original. I've heard it, yes, I've actually followed this myself.
I must have misread it.
What happened this year and what caused the problem was that white students were encouraged to voluntarily leave the college grounds, so that the students of color could be the ones benefiting from staying on campus. They wanted to reverse the roles, and it was always supposed to be voluntary. Students of color didn't have to leave previously, and this time around whites were not supposed to have to leave either. So you had this teacher who said, well, I'm choosing not to leave because I think this is the wrong way of doing it. Just by reversing it doesn't mean that you're really achieving what... And then the thing is, he was always supportive of the original concept anyways.
But he was like forcing people to take part in activism, with the caveat that you will be shamed if you don't. Kind of thing.
No. He wasn't. That was the problem that he had. That forcing people to leave. He said, okay, this is going from demonstrating systems of oppression to being a system of oppression by forcing people to do these things, whether you want to or not. He said, I'm against that because that is oppression, and they all flipped their shit, screaming at him and demanding that he leave, and that if he didn't, he should be fired.
Yeah, well, that's what I think is that this was quite a lot of hegemony in the peacefully say if you are anti-racist, just leave the campus for a day.
But if you don't, then that means you're racist. That means you're pro-racist.
Yeah, and then people who say no, I'm not going to in advance, instead of walking around ready to just without numbers to back them up, so you've just got some horde to just pounce on some unwitting bloke who just didn't read the memo. If you got someone ahead of time, say you're gonna ruin everything. Rah.
Yeah, and
so
go ahead.
Oh shit. Okay, so in response, a lot of the students mobbed him outside of his office. In fairness, he was fairly polite and says, we'll have some semblance of a dialectic or a debate, discuss this out. They shouted him down, screamed at him to resign, and they basically held the what's the guy's position?
President.
Yeah,
is it the student president? Yes.
No, the college
dean.
president.
The college president.
They don't have deans. They don't have deans at Evergreen.
Yeah.
Right,
they have a very flat structure. That's the thing about the Evergreen College is basically a very flat structured. Students and professors are almost at the same level. because it's more about teaching, and they even have some really good ideas, I think, as far as the one professor per 25 students rule that they have.
Okay.
Which is, I think, is an awesome idea, because you get to connect more with the students that you have, and you get to actually teach them and help them to understand the topic better. But yes, there are tons and tons and tons of things that are wrong with that place. And then Weinstein also, I mean, he's gone on a lot of online shows. He was on Joe Rogan's Experience, which was one of, in addition to Jordan Peterson's podcast there, it was some of the best podcasts I have seen by Joe Rogan. And he was on Dave Rubin's, on the Rubin Report. And he's also been on Fox News a couple of times as well. But he's not been on CNN or MSNBC or any of the left-leaning, the ones that should be handling their own fucking political side. Has completely, it seems like they've completely disavowed Brett Weinstein, even though he was a Bernie Sanders supporter and pretty hard left.
Could you imagine Chimp Yuga trying to spin this story?
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't cover it, so he doesn't have to spin it. That's the thing, is that silence is better than a spin. At least without a spin, you can't get caught in a lie. So
there'd be too many people looking at it and going, "This is unreasonable." You know, how come you're coming down on this fucking side? You know?
Yeah. Well, it's I can read parts of the letter, because this is actually kind of it gets scarier, because it is that campus seems to be it seems to be really, really freaky, because after the day of absence, the college has basically been shut down by the activists, and the college president and the administration doesn't seem to care. They don't care. That
you're getting a little bit ahead of it. One of the important things is that the students, when they did the first shutdown, they presented a list of demands. These included disbanding the campus police, prohibiting police from the regular town to actually come and deal with anything on campus, and empowering the students to form their own fucking militia.
Yeah.
The community policing, Wizard of
they have since done.
Yeah. Wizard of Course made a good video on that. It's when he saw the idea of community policing, he was like, excellent, here's my experience on community policing, and then he looked further into it, it's like, that's not what they want. They just want mob rule. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Wait. Did Wizard of Course pay for advertising time? Did he?
What?
No?
Sorry?
Jan, edit it out later. He didn't pay.
Oh, okay. No, but it's
no free rides.
I see what you mean. Sorry.
Yeah.
No free rides. No free rides here.
Yeah.
Well, you have what looks like
He did send me this excellent bourbon, which I'm going to drink later on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I still have the expensive whiskey that Asto bought me, which is
Good
nice.
stuff. I can't drink at the moment because I'm on antibiotics. So.
Yeah.
I would like to recommend Equate, complete multivitamin for adults 50 and over, which I'm not yet, so fuck you.
Yeah, okay. But let me start talking about this, because there has been a second professor, because things have just gotten worse and worse at that campus. So there's a second professor now, also a professor of biology. Weird how all these fucking sort of science professors are speaking out against it, and not these, sociology professors. But it's I can read parts of the letter. This is a story of how a Democrat voting veterinarian working mostly with Republican livestock owners became a bigoted professor at a left-wing progressive liberal arts college. It's about a collection of professors that are so blinded by their advocacy that they cannot fathom different viewpoints. It involves a newly appointed president who believes in ideological safe spaces and who endorses a strategic equity plan that will hurt the very students it's trying to help. What happened to him? Mike Paros is his name. He's a professor of biology at Evergreen State College. He used to take his students, his biology students, who went to a liberal arts college and took biology because they were interested in biology. Most of them were sort of the typical art student type, out into rural areas where Republicans welcomed them onto their farms and showed them how farms function. And they got a huge amount of benefit from it. But because of the campus culture, he had to stop doing it because it just got worse and worse. And the students that would go on those trips were now being sort of seemingly being branded by the other students as being bad. He said, "I believe that I'd found the antidote to the ever-increasing disease of polarization and identity politics that have divided our rural and urban population." Norway has a saying that used to be a political saying from the Labour Party. And it basically it says "By og land hand i hand." And what it means that it's urban and rural areas go hand in hand. We don't function without it. And what this guy was doing was basically trying to prove that point, is that you can't exist. You people in the urban areas can't exist without the rural areas. You need to talk to them to be able to understand them. And it just, yeah. I recently met with a student who was angry she was told to shut up at a student rally based solely on the amount of pigment in her skin. She did not comply and was called a racist. I asked her if this bothered her. He said, "No, because I'm not a racist." To the faculty too afraid to speak out, I urge you to walk toward the fire. After all, if this brave student is a bigot, then I guess I am too. They are just words. You will not lose your jobs, but you might lose your dignity. I actually like this guy. Seriously. And he seems to be describing the college president. Yeah, the tale is about two men trying to save Evergreen. One is an absolute coward, Bridges, which is the college president, and the other is the ultimate hero, Weinstein. Who should be forced to resign? Weinstein reluctantly went on Fox News because no other news source would pick up his story. His excellent op-ed in the Wall Street Journal followed. Videos don't lie. Weinstein's logic prevailed. The cognitive dissonance is set amongst the Evergreen faculty. And the Evergreen faculty just seems to be perpetuating this, just making it worse and worse in general.
Nice.
So it's just, and there's a second thing that came out about this Evergreen State College, which I feel really, really bad for, because I talked to one of the guys in one of the comment sections, and he basically said he can't transfer. The school credits that they earn at that school are non-transferable. They can't. They're fucked, basically. Yeah. They can't get out of it. No, exactly.
Like that name is going to be mud, as bad as Mizzou.
I'm thinking worse than Mizzou. I'm thinking
this point,
at this point. I mean, I saw the pictures of the sort of police, community police that they have.
Mm.
And I thought it was a joke at start because it seemed like something out of a Rocky Horror Picture Show musical or stage performance or something, because it was just that fucking bad. And they're not gonna the students that are not guilty of this are gonna be branded on the same level as the others, and they can't transfer out. So it's just it's just a really, really sad story. I get bummed just thinking about it, because I went to a liberal arts college and I didn't turn out that way. So it's just, yeah, it's really sad. And one of the then yeah, there's a point at the end of his letter at the Heterodox Academy, which is Jonathan Haidt's site. There's at the end of that letter he wrote, an administrator approached and asked, how did we get to this point? And then he ends it with, I guess safe spaces can be dangerous places. And yeah, I think that's perfectly true. Safe spaces are meant to exclude people, and that's dangerous in general. Should we end with a bit of a happy note? Because
we've got another 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, because it relates to the same topic, but I thought we should mention it. That the woman who got pepper sprayed at the February infamous Berkeley riots was, and she was apparently a student at Berkeley, Kiara Robles. Kiara Robles, or Robles.
Robles.
Kiara Robles. She is now suing her school and several other entities for obstructing her First Amendment right, and for being pepper sprayed.
Yay, legal action! Woo!
Yeah. Dude, hit him where it hurts. Hit him where it hurts. That's perfect.
In the face with a knife.
Well, she is targeting her school and 18 other individuals or organizations in a lawsuit filed on Monday, seeking damages up to $23 million. Now, as a Norwegian, I couldn't imagine anyone suing anybody for that amount, but it's America, so I guess it's America.
We lose a lot of that to solicitors' costs.
Yeah,
if they get a full-on thing, then they'll be viable for the payment.
Oh, I don't think...
Two things.
Yeah.
Two things America gave to the UK that I really do curse the United States for. One, suing everyone. We got that from you. We never used to sue each other. We used to have a fight.
I don't mind it. I'd be out of a job if that wasn't it.
Liberal arts studies. Sorry, guys. We never had this cultural appropriation bullshit until you guys came out with it.
I don't know. I think you can blame the Russians for that, really.
Yeah, but the Russians, obviously. Yeah.
Ideological subversion and all that.
Well, Marx in general.
and the postmodernists, they're also to blame.
If you want
to the French. Let's just blame the French. Because they...
Hanzo Mains.
Yeah.
And...
the Russians.
Oh, man.
I blame Loki.
Hold on a second.
I blame Loki.
Hold on a second. We will take responsibility for the liberal arts problems, and we'll take responsibility for the lawsuit issues, but we're not going to accept blame for Hanzo Mains, okay?
Okay, whoa, hush. All right, sensitive topic. I know, sensitive.
No, but it's.
I'm sorry, but I have to blame the UK for the Victorian Puritanism.
Yep.
That's on you guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, we got that from the Italians.
Besides, we don't care about that.
Well, Australia got it from you. You passed it on to us, so
Yep.
you can blame Patient Zero on whoever you want, but we got it from you.
I mean, we've always had the no sex because we're
Don't
English.
worry.
No, but
Carry on.
I wanted
Wiped out the Aboriginals, you
I
know.
tried in America for that fact. Americans got it from you as well.
Hey, it's sins of the father, man. Sins of the father. You can't blame us for everything. It's all up to the top of the totem pole. It was the Romans, okay? And
Yeah,
if
besides
history-
the roads and
if-
clean water, what have the Romans ever done for us?
Exactly. But I will say to this, I can put it one step higher. I can blame one people above even that of the Roman Empire. The ultimate authority. There was Kangs, y'all.
Yeah.
There was Kangs.
It's always
Perfect.
black people's fault.
Yeah, perfect.
You
black
Cube is to
people.
blame.
Black
He
people
created
are
white people, so you Cube is to blame for everything.
black people are
Black
to blame
people,
for
it's all on you.
everything.
It's all on you guys. It's all on you.
I'm so glad Artivous is sleeping. Anyways,
When they sleep, we wreak our revenge.
that is it for the Unsolicited Opinions podcast. I've been your host, Meerkat Monarch, sometimes known as Jay's Lillevik. Buy my book! Is Mark the Mark Boy is out now. Go on Amazon, buy it.
Yeah, buy it. It's pretty good.
As a little bit of self-promotion, I am, of course, the new All England theatre champion.
Yeah.
And I will be going...
Again?
I will go... Again, 5 times now. 5 times. Got to be a record. And we are going up against... we are travelling over to Northern Ireland to go for the All-British. Scotland always win, by the way.
Nice.
So if you're going to be in Northern Ireland over that weekend, just look at our website, allenglanddramafestival.com, allbritandramafestival.com, and just check it out. Have a look. So you can turn up. If you can, great. If you can't, fuck you. Bye.
Anyways, I'm going to try and end this show one more time. Artivous Ira is my co-host. These 4 fucks have all been here as well. Dr. Evil, Deef, Plipp, and our beautiful unicorn, Roy.
Mascot.
And
Chili biscuits are the food of the gods.
Yeah, that's it. Buy my book. Is Mark the Mark Boy. Bye.
Feminine penis.
Tell me that got on the end there.
It did.